on one side, Molotov as well, trying to find the very edge of the bomb site so as to not get shot from the sides. I mean, it's a pretty good job so far to even get the bomb down. That could have been already shut down easily. JKS looking for it and getting the headshot and the follow-up to take down bolts. That's massive complexity. What a magical round that they're bringing in here. Woody now on his own, looking for anything that he can get. He's going to get one of the Molotov to bring down JKS. That is a rare way to win a 1 versus 2. Oh, no.
Oh, man. He just rolls his eyes. The molly just spread halfway through. It's not hitting him. It's not hitting him. And he's dead. That is the worst way to go. And JKS, you really felt like he had a chance here. After these first 2 kills, you think MIBR are going to lose this round.
Yeah.
And look at the molly. Oh, man. How do you predict that?
That's the first case, Maui, of a real use case for having a tactile shoot-on playing Counter-Strike. It kind of heats up behind you, your feet starts to burn in real life. You can feel it.
Something fire retardant would have been appreciated. Yeah,
you needed that.
Yeah,
that is really rough. Because again, I mean, JKS, those 2 kills probably should not even have happened, but they did, and that looked like it was going to be a round-winning move right there. Double nade over the top. In case someone was standing there, which again with the Molotov is not unlikely, but they didn't catch anyone. Now blameF doing his best impression of exactly what MIBR were doing in the first half, walking on. He's so deep in here and they've just given up the entire site. There should be an almost automatic loss in the bomb site. There's no way anyone is going to spin around to check for this. Walking in, finding the kill. They know the second kill as well. Yeah, like you said, flow state.
He just locked in. He was locked in. He knew exactly what was happening. He walked right behind them. Even after getting the first kill, he immediately swung his crosshair to the left. Knew the setup that MIBR were running. That is the blameF you want to see if you're a Complexity fan. That was just excellent work from him. One tap. He knew. He knew where Turtle was. Man.
Now, if it's just a 1 round, they shouldn't be too tilted, but the problem with dying like that is not just that you lose the round, but is that you feel so red. You're like, oh no, they walked into the bomb site with, you know, they didn't even do anything. They just walked in and won the round. Tough time. That's going to be 10 to 13. Complexity quickly catching up in this game.
It's getting close. It is getting very close. And that will make MIBR sweat because this is their map pick. They had such a great start in that first half. Despite it being still a CT-sided map, they shocked us, and now Complexity is shocking them.
Yeah, turning it around, which is nice to see. I mean, we just had it with Dignitas on Nuke. That comeback, I think, was very impressive. Really fun to see. Not so much if you're on the receiving end like Fiend was. That's hard to deal with. And again, the format doesn't allow for it. There are no second chances here. So
do or die.
Yep, do or die. It's all on the line. We'll see. A little bit of a timeout being called. And this is going to be interesting. They showed a lot of, I think, creative work on the T side. When they have the money, who's to say they can't bring something similar? I mean, they tried it once with Woody in the middle and that AWP. I want to see more out of that from MIBR. I feel like Complexity are proving as well that if they get the map control, they can win the rounds just as much.
They're really getting aggressive for that mid control. A couple of volleys are expended, but Complexity have the lane. One of the most pivotal parts of the map. Cold is just pushing through the smoke. No way! That is... Oh, that is so bold. And BR is the victim. And now Complexity, they just want to explode onto this site. It's just one player, Turtle. He finds ESSA tag, but the bomb, it's dropped onto the site right now. And Complexity are figuring out that there's no one here.
What a great follow-up. 1-2 punch to get that kill, followed it, but still, they get another kill through the smoke, and it's on blameF this time. 3-on-3. Bomb is being planted. Interesting position. I don't know if the spam had come through, maybe it would have been dangerous, but it's also a bit uncommon. So JKS, yeah, caught spinning the wrong way. That is just very unfortunate. Bolts will take him down. Cold and Poison. 2-on-3 to try and hold on to this. And they're actually in some interesting positions here. Quite far away from where the bomb is. A good smoke right now would force them to run back into the bomb site, but no smoke has been thrown. It's Exit with a kill, tapping the bomb a single time. Cold walking in and Exit. He is not going to miss that shot. He is so on point. 22nd kill of the game for him. Wait, does that mean he only has 2 kills in the second half? I think it does.
If he's 22, if he has 22 kills, then yes, he has not had a great time thus far. But this was an excellent round from here. This entry from Cold is, man, he's taken a page out of MIBR's book. They tried pushing some smokes in the last half, and he does it himself. But Bolt's just running and gunning there to take down JKS. That is it's a little rude, actually. Oh man, that last shot too is just perfect crosshair placement from Exit.
He's so on point. But he's got some backup. Everyone except for Woody right now is playing well. And usually we like to give some excuses for the in-game leaders in terms of the amount of resources they have to put into sort of dictating the battle a little bit. But when everyone else is playing that well, maybe it's going to be fine. 14-10. They have money on Complexity side, so if they lose this round, they're not completely done at the very least, and that is a good read.
Yeah, the Fern angle.
The Fern.
It's the spot for the lone B defaulter. You're going to see that a lot once you start watching their POVs. Everybody loves that one. It's one of the few spots in Counter-Strike where you actually have a graphical advantage kind of thing, where you where you actually have cover like a Call of Duty game.
That is true. If you could only go prone, you could really abuse it.
Exactly.
And that's one of those things, like you said, it's the lone B player, so they might know MIBR, that he's alone out there, but it doesn't, I mean, because it's so early on, doesn't give them a lot to work with either.
Right, there's no great adaptation to make in the mid-round because of that. The clock is ticking down, though, and MIBR, because they're holding on to Donut, should know that this is unlikely an A play, but Woody still is the lone defender on B.
It's going to be Zorb, isn't it? Maybe a jump for it. Oh, he just peeks right into it, and he's quick to pull the trigger. coldzera will be there to catch him, though. That's still a pretty good setup, and they're not even going to get close. They've given up on the round already, so an 11th one for Complexity. Not bad at all. I mean, not like they even did a lot to play themselves in. This is the one kill, and then the other one on Woody as he tries to escape. That's what gives them the round here. But it's very efficient.
Yeah, and Woody, he tries to leave, but without anybody covering the ramp, that's always going to be a difficult escape if Complexity is in a good pinching position. And so Complexity find their 11th. This is a big round for both teams. Like you mentioned, the economy was in a pretty dire place for MIBR, so also very important that they save these guns themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, Woody has, as an individual, not had the best time here, but the calling he made on the T side more than makes up for it.
Yeah, that's really what you have to contrast it to, right? That first half was looking so impressive, so we can cut him a little bit of slack. Of course, eventually, I mean, if in that moment he gets a kill and escapes, or gets a double kill, that could turn the tide. Yeah, that could win them the map almost, so we'll see. He's back on the AWP. They were able to afford that in spite of everything. BlameF not looking to really go for it. Thought he was going to turn the corner there. And again, they're pouring nades from the bomb site out into the lane. Not really catching anything for it. So that's almost all of their nades dumped in the first 20 seconds of the round.
Yeah, no real space taken from Complexity just yet. They're really waiting for MIBR to burn their utility, and they've done a good job, as they've taken 0 damage in the first 30 seconds of this round, and yet we already see that the utility is quite thin for MIBR.
Just waiting for it. I mean, they might be expecting Complexity that MIBR will try to overreact and try to do a bit more than they normally have been, because it feels like they're really giving them the space to do it. So far, they haven't taken it. Although Woody, he's alone in here, remember. No one else is with him. Missed shot right now could get him killed almost immediately. But then again, if he takes down BlameF, that's going to be a big giveaway to what's happening next. And they might be able to read it. 40 seconds on the clock. Standoff is still there. In-game leader versus in-game leader in the middle. 33 seconds, and they're just waiting to pop that flashbang. Counter nades. That's a nice smoke actually going up on the ramp. That's huge for the defense. Turtle gonna get the kill. The bomb falls into the bomb site. That's a disaster. Woody gonna get caught, but is it really a difference maker right now? 19 seconds on the clock, and the bomb is still committed to the site, and they know MIBR, they're bringing everyone over here. Down to 13 seconds. Cold will get a kill on one of them. Swings for it, but Turtle is there. Another good headshot. 7 seconds left. JKS with the double and just makes it behind the pillar. He's going to get one of them. The bomb is going to be planted in the last 2 seconds. Exit with a spray. Oh! And he takes down JKS. What a sequence and what a victory. 15 rounds for MIBR.
That should have never happened. Exit comes up huge on the retake right there. In fact, the bomb's not even planted, and he's rushing on towards it. And it really felt like Complexity somehow put it all together in the last 15 seconds of that round. But Exit just absolutely delivers. He has had a quiet CT side, an incredible T side, and I think he just needs to be on the aggressive. I think he needs to be aggressive.
That's what he wants. Can you... I almost want to see that replay again for the last 3 kills, because he gets one of them on the left-hand side, and he immediately transfers on the right, even though the bomb is kind of still being... This is so cool. Look at how quick he is to just... He goes for a little bit further here. This is the one. And then immediately he's just pre-firing that. Just continues the spray. I mean, what a madman.
He continues it, and then he still is able to transfer back to the left.
I know, it's so
much composure, so controlled in those last few seconds there. That was a high-pressure moment, and Exit came up huge for MIBR.
25-12 is Exit. So 5 kills so far in the second half, but that was incredibly explosive. Like you said, he just needs to be the one starting the fight, and maybe he's fine. 15-11. Moving into the 27th round. Complexity need 4 in a row. We know they can get that. Oh, that's actually dangerous from Turtle, but he's... Oh, never mind. Take it back.
You can tell how comfortable MIBR are in the default. He just shoots through the smoke right then and just tags Cold down to 30 seconds. That's excellent work.
Not bad. Exit. Very forward position that he maybe could have got caught in. But now that he's back around the corner, just jiggle peeking it to try and spot anyone out. Should be doable. Oh, but they're very close. He's going to drop the Molotov. And that actually works. I would say that's a high-risk play.
He could have got run down. But that's the second time he's gone for that. Man, that was really close. And Complexity have to fall off because of it. The smoke was there at their feet. Couldn't press on forward. Oh, Woody shoots a pixel too high. Doesn't take down Blame. And Blame, he had some space towards middle, but little does he know, there's no one in that top mid house. He can't just press on forward, given that he's been spotted. They would have expected him. And when he watches this one back, that's going to be a moment where he thinks, oh, I could have found some space there.
Actually a good call right now for Complexity, it looks like, to go for this B-bomb site. VR is here. He's going to be getting the 1 kill Blamer for the trade. That's good enough. Good enough. Turtle on his own right now. Remember, they're looking for 4 in a row right now, but they're going to run into Turtle. What a double kill. As the sole defender of the B-bomb side, he's able to pick that up. Bolt's coming in with the 1, and now JKS even getting slightly randomly wall banged through the wall, and he's going to be dropped. It's 16 rounds for MIBR, and they can hardly believe it. It's only the first map, guys. Don't get out of control, but that is a big win for MIBR.
Huge win. Huge win. To come in with that much confidence on the T side, to be able to execute your game plan to that degree, I mean, you have to be quite happy if you are in the MIBR camp, but we still have more to go.
We do, in fact, yes. Nuke is obviously going to be the second map that's going to be coming up, so we don't want to forget about that either. But what a fiery start to this best of 3. MIBR showing that picking Ancient was absolutely no mistake. Really, really well done. All right, Bolt is ready.
He's going to fix the camera.
Yeah.
That little earthquake that he had is, he's going to find a way to remedy it. But yeah, MIBR will be able to secure their map pick. Excellent stuff from Exit. That guy played incredibly well. Anytime he was moving forward,
I know,
it felt like he was good for 2.
Well, it was a joy to watch. We're going to have a little bit of an exit of our own in the break, and we'll be right back.
I believe I have an unpopular opinion.
I think that Counter-Strike games are too long.
I don't know. I like the Krieg meta.
You see the map pool? All the 7 maps? It's gone.
I think definitely the most unpopular opinion I have is Vertigo is a good map.
I think that Vertigo is a pretty good map. I think that you have pretty good reason to go B sometimes. I think it's nice because CTs can both retake, but they can also play offensive, and there's more and more new ways to play Vertigo on the CT side, but also on the T side.
I think the hate against Vertigo is not really... I don't agree with it. I think maps like Mirage and Dust 2 should actually be getting more of the hate, in my opinion.
It's a map where there are a lot like hidden gems undiscovered yet, and there's like so much potential for it.
I like Vertigo, and I would love to see like Valve changing map pool like in 1 year. Every 1 year they change like 2 maps, because sometimes it get boring to watch all the maps over and over again.
The model skins, you know, that they introduced to the game, I really don't like them. I don't think they added anything to the game, and I think we've heard from a lot of people who are colorblind, for example, that they actually have a hard time seeing these model skins when they're playing, which I think is like super broken, to be honest. I think it should be equal and fair for everyone, so I think there actually should be a command to like disable them, you know.
I believe I have an unpopular opinion because I would love, for example, to have really something new. Of course, the best will be a new CS if it can come, but if not, we can still do something with CSGO. But I would, for example, love to, like Valve is coming, saying, you see the map pool, all the 7 maps, it's gone. And you just take 7 new maps that no one know, never practice, never see, never play, whatever, like totally new, and like go on, have fun.
I think that Counter-Strike games are too long. It's kind of impossible to be playing at the very top of your game.
The curveball pick pays off for MIBR as they kick complexity to the curb on the grounds of Ancient. And this is a bold result coming out of the Brazilians' Maniac. Sure, we weren't really sure what to be expecting coming into this. Sure, it was their map pick, but they did look convincing doing it.
That's the beauty of Counter-Strike, Freya. Listen, MIBR played against LDLC yesterday. They lost 0-2, they won 12 rounds on both maps. I didn't have high expectations moving into this game, and now they have just beaten complexity on their map pick. And quite decisive fashion, I have to say. If you just look back at that second half, we were talking isolated rounds, one on the CT side for MIBR. They never had any anti-eco, they never put 2 rounds together. They had to fight for every single one of them, and they did so with the fashion.
Yeah, it was a good performance from MIBR. We can't take anything away from them. I think we saw some of the new prospects show off as well. Exit did a good job with that clutch as well. I'm sure we're going to revisit that at some point. Turtle was very assertive on the server. He was involved in a lot. Also finished off with 2 kills in the last round, finishing with the highest ADR for his team. So some of these new players that we don't really know much about and we're here to learn more about actually deliver.
Yeah, I like that we're getting to learn a lot more about MIBR as we progress on forward as well. And I think an interesting thing that we didn't really point out in our pre-game segment is, of course, Yell coming out. That means that Woody coming in is the new in-game leader as well. So there's a lot of strategic kind of upheaval. I know James was talking a little bit about when he was chatting to some of the MIBR players, saying that they're going for a more aggressive playstyle now as a unit.
Fair enough. I think on short term, it's probably the best of ways. Like, if you don't have a game plan that is too established, try to compensate by being aggressive. Be the one setting the tone. Make the plays, make the difference, make the trades. I thought it worked out quite well for MIBR. You could see on their T side as well how much pressure they were putting on the B side of complexity, who was faltering time and time again. Also the clutch factors. What is that? MIBR being able to put out these outnumbers clutches? I didn't expect that. Complexity is supposed to win all of these rounds. They didn't.
Yeah, particularly going back to that T side for MIBR, what do you think was the biggest kind of factor for them to be getting that success in terms of that first half?
I think Turtle was vital. I think he was playing well. He was involved in 12 opening
Now I'm picturing a wild Turtle.
Yeah, no, fair enough. As you can see right here, his stats also just the same. 21 kills, 20 deaths, 91 ADR, up close to 100, and the opening duels, as I spoke about, 8 for 12. He was not afraid of taking the duels, and he was not afraid of winning them. Clearly had a lot of impact in this game, and the T side for MIBR was good, especially especially because they never gave Complexity time to rest. There was never a point in the first half where Complexity 1, 2, 3, or 4 rounds in a row established economy and established sort of like a presence on the server and said no to MIBR. They would lose a couple of rounds here and there. They would lose a couple of clutches, but they would always answer back with a round, always keep the money low for Complexity. So the T side from MIBR was actually very, very well played. And of course, let's be honest, let's not beat around the bush in this one. Complexity, when they end up losing to a team like MIBR, who, as you said, got 12 rounds against a mediocre LDLC just a day ago, they just forfeit their game against the team they were about to lose to as well. They go in here and beat Complexity on a map like Ancient. I don't even know where to begin with Complexity at this point. There's a lot of bad stuff going around with this squad.
I think there's just a lot of question marks that need to really be answered about Complexity. And we heard it from Peacemaker in the pre-game interview as well. He was talking about the mistakes that Complexity have made. You know, he's self-aware that those mistakes are being made. So what key mistakes did you kind of see coming out from Complexity in this map?
If I had to pinpoint one thing, is that all these power play they had, all these advantageous situations that were on the CT side, where MIBR were able to just walk up ramp on the B side of things, also in that cave, and they were winning these clutches. That just cannot happen. That is it. It is as simple as it is. On a map that turns out to be so city-sided as Ancient right now, whenever you have the number advantage, you're supposed to close the round. There should be no discussion whether or not you allow your opponent back into it, and MIBR found their way. But if we ask the question where to begin, I think we should begin with exit. If that makes sense, metaphorically speaking, we should begin with the exit. But he was such a beast.
Yeah.
He was such an absolute beast. I was getting so excited in the room. Oh my God. This man on the server, he made the difference.
Oh, I absolutely love seeing him as well, because I know I was speaking to you about it, Maniac, but obviously I saw a lot of him on Sharks back in the ECS days. You know, they were always there trying to qualify for the finals. They managed to do it one time, and Exit was always a name that we were really harping on about, just in terms of the, you know, the brutality you can bring to a server. We didn't get to see that back at the groups, but here, so instrumental in terms of the team success.
Yeah, a bit of a closer, not necessarily the most aggressive player on the server. He also only died 12 times, which suggests that a lot of the rounds he wasn't really involved. His ADR was 75, I believe, as well. So despite having some fantastic stats and especially some fantastic clutches, as you're watching right here, he's more like the closer for this lineup. A good addition, and again, he had a very, very good game right here. That clutch potentially won them the game, or at least kept them in the lead, and disallowed Complexity to at any point fight back.
Yeah, and that was such a surprise seeing him manage to pull that one off. That is what, you know, pushed MIBR to that 15th round and edged them ever closer to that victory.
Yeah, and I think it's also a signal, a symptom of the problems on the side of Complexity, because for both, or rather for a clutch, there are always two sides of the story, right? There's always Exit with that beautiful 1v3, and then there's Complexity just half-ass peeking, not really, someone's covering the bomb, someone's not there on site. So there were mistakes being made. The mistakes we were mentioning by Peacemaker in that interview, we can see them again right there. A man like Exit is not supposed to have such an impact against Complexity. Again, ranked, what, 100? Below 100, going up against Complexity, a team that is supposed to make the top in Counter-Strike, and he pulls that out. That must mean there's a problem on the other side.
Yeah, that is what is so dire about this situation coming into things. You know, we're looking at the ranks of these teams. We're looking at Complexity to really be bouncing back after poor showings at the last, well, few tournaments at least. And it's a real shame that they can't manage to put it up against MIBR.
It is a bit of a shame, and especially this performance doesn't give you any confidence that they can somewhere, you know, find that inner level again and find that inner drive and motivation as well. We spoke a bit about Poison as well coming into this one, and we know he's the AWP player for this lineup. I was just looking over this game and thinking to myself, he went 11-19 in the game itself. On a map like Ancient, which I would argue right now that for a CT-sided AWP player is the dream. There's so many places you can be in, there's so many angles you can just hold, and it's very tough to, I guess, push an AWP player out of position and out of his comfort zone.
Think about Brokey.
Yet, think about Brokey, think about Kaden from Heroic, think about all the ops right now. They thrive so well on the CT side. Monacy as well from NaVi Jr., a player that you need to watch out for the future. But for Poison, with 11 kills, that's not good enough. Moving over to the T side, he didn't have a single AWP kill at any point. He had 4 kills in total on the T side. 3 of those were with the pistol. He didn't produce anything whatsoever. And I don't want to stand here and say that's all Poison, it's all his problem. But that's just one example of a player that is not working for Complexity. You have the most expensive gun in the game. You have one of the most important roles in the entire team when it comes to a map like Ancient. And there was only a couple of instances, only a couple of rounds where you actually delivered with the AWP. That is simply not good enough at this level. level.
Yeah, and what really hurts for Complexity is that whereas I used to call out Poison as, you know, not being enough, maybe insufficient for the pro level, when Config stepped out for his wrist injury, I thought Poison was picking up the pace. I thought Poison was making that difference. He was, you know, compensating the lack of aggressiveness. He was making these plays. He was playing better Counter-Strike in the last few weeks. So I kind of started to be on board with the hype train. I said, you know what, I'm going to give this guy another chance. I think we should give him another chance. But you cannot have a game like that against MIBR where you completely disappear. Now we're moving on to the second map, and it starts for us as well to shift into a different gear. It would be unacceptable for Complexity to lose 0-2 against MIBR with a brand new lineup, new IGL, unproven players. You come here to the Showdown and get kicked out the first round. That isn't acceptable.
Yeah, this is a ground that we're expecting, well, we're hoping that Complexity will be more comfortable on. We see them with a 44% win rate in the last 3 months, but that does come with the asterisks of some really, really close losses against some really high caliber opposition. Then we're looking at MIBR, haven't really faced any high caliber